we don't share our feelings as well. We don't talk, we don't express ourselves correctly, and I think it's deeply ingrained that we shouldn't do it. That's some things we should keep to ourselves. It causes many freaking problems, it causes many bloody issues, and I think it's a toxicity that has been destroying us for a while. Our feelings should never be kept inside at all, no matter what we're doing. I mean, there's a time and a place for them, but we need to make sure that we let it out in the right way. This is not saying, you got to tell your boss off. This is not saying you've got to make sure that you scream at that like hell at somebody or whatever, or if somebody insults you, you flip them off immediately. That's not societal right ways, but we bottle up way too much in our lives. I have done this a lot. I had so many things where I did this before. I've talked a lot about being bullied in my life, and I've talked a lot about things that I've had. I had actually, if you go on my profile on Instagram, there's a video that I did, and also if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a foundational story where I was beat up severely when I was 11 years old. And I carried so much anger and so much hate towards those people that it bubbled up so badly, and I had caused a near ulcer when I was 13 years old. Also, one of the closest people in the world to me was dying of cancer, and I was struggling with it severely. I was struggling really, really super bad. I don't know how I made it out of it at times, but I know I had a good support system with me. That's what counts. We've got to be sure that we don't hold it in just because we don't want to offend somebody. We want to make sure that hi Ray. We just got to make sure that we let ourselves feel the way we're supposed to feel at any particular time, right? So back to the bullied situation. I had so much anger towards one of these dudes, and it was like 15 years after the situations happened. And for the most part, I was left alone afterward. Um, I was pretty lonely in high school after. Um, I just had this manifestation when I was in college that I would hurt, or if I would see these people, I would kill them or I would hurt them. And it was something in my head, kind of like if you've ever seen the movie Billy Madison. Okay, bad example, but Steve Buscemi plays this guy who was bullied severely, and Adam Sandler's character calls him and apologizes, and then he crosses his name off of a list of people. And it is presumed that he's going to hurt them. I wasn't that far, but I shouldn't be laughing at it, but it was kind of a funny movie. But, and I had to work to forgive those people. And what I did was I started looking at why they did what they did. And, at that time we had Facebook and social media, and, some people started talking to me, and, things came up, and I'm like, oh, whatever happened to this person? Whatever happened to that person? And, whatever happened to this person? Oh, they're not doing too well. When they were growing up, they never got over their parents' divorce. I'm like, oh, okay. And Plus, also at that time, everybody's really super angry, and I'm like, yeah. Then I understood what was going on, and I had to let out. I had to let out all that anger, like 15 years of anger and depression and sadness, and I turned to drinking. I have not had a drop of alcohol in a long, long, long time. Well, I had one drop of it when I was offered something with a friend of mine. I tried to swallow it. I could not do it, and I got sick for the rest of the day. But I had not intentionally came out and said, I want a beer for forever, forever. I've been sober for a long, long time. We turned to drinking, we turned to other things, we turned to things to numb the pain. And if I just found an outlet when I was younger to be able to release all that energy into the universe the right way, I think I would have had a much better experience early on in college. Later on was pretty good once I let that all out. Once I got it all out of me. But I think we need to take how we're feeling and just let it out. Like I had the dojo, I had my own physical things. You have to have a hobby, a talent, or something to be able to let things out. Like I had to learn to forgive those people, but I had to work on building myself. I met one of the bullies in a liquor store at one point, and he came up and he apologized for everything that he did and said he was going through anger management counseling. And he said, like, dude, I'm so sorry with the way I treated you when we were kids. I said, I forgive you. It's all good. And, he gave me a hug. I hugged him harder. It was a proud moment for me. But I worked at all those times before that incident to realize it was completely useless. That everything that I was holding on to for nearly 15 years, of all those, that anger moments, of all those times, and if we express it at that point, like my wife and I have this rule that we need to speak about anything right then and there. Like, if we have a fight, we need to settle it. Like, immediately need to settle it. Or I usually go for the moment I say, okay, look, this is my fault. I'm sorry. She's, okay. Like, and then that's it. Like, we don't harbor any particular issues. Like, there might be things like where I chew too loud or something, and we just make kind of poke fun at that or something, and like, but something needs to happen. Like, it needs to just say, okay, we can't hold on to any crap at all, right? Any crap we cannot hold on to, by far, by far, by far. No, 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 not happening at all. Now, what we need to do, we have a few steps of what we can do to be able to bring it up, right? We need to have an outlet, number one. An outlet on our lives and to be able to release any feelings. Like, if you have an expression of love, let it out. And this comes a lot from, I think we hold back things, and I think for stereotype purposes, we're told that as men, we can't express love, or we're told that we shouldn't express that as much as possible. I think we should. No matter what happens, we should express the love that happens. We should express that happiness every single day. Immediately, right away. I can't count on how many times in my day that I tell my wife I love her. Every single day. I'll tell my friends I love them. And all the time. Family members love you. Hug hard. Express it every single day. And it's not just a text. Tell them, hey, much love. Hope you're doing well. Blah, blah, blah. If you have anger, you need to release it immediately. There's no sense harboring it. There are physical issues that can happen. Like, I almost had an ulcer because I was so angry at the fact my grandfather was dying. I was so angry at the bullying. I was so angry with the way my physical manifestation was. Angry at God, angry at the world, anger. But I luckily had the dojos in my life. I luckily had, me building my own body up, being able to build myself up. And that's how we do it. If you still hold anger with bullies, we have a beautiful thing on Facebook. Trace back, to ask people, talk about them. Conversations may come up. You might find there's something there. I had a bully of mine who his dad left him at a very young age, and his dad was in Iraq, the Desert Storm, Gulf War, early '90s veteran who couldn't work his right arm as well because he had an injury. Every time he saw him, he saw his dad he saw me, he saw his dad that left. And it became absolutely crystal clear as to why it happened. And I'm like, we were 11 years old. Like, I'm 35, and that was 24 years ago. All that anger that he had, all the anger I had too. I was an idiot myself at that time, but let it go. And you just say, you know what, I felt bad for that person. And I was lucky enough to have parents, and it was rare in the town that I grew up in for not to have an abandoned parent somewhere, or it was rare to have non-divorcee parents, stepdads or something. Both my parents are still very happily married. Is it 36 years now? Going strong, doing well. 37 years soon. Doing fine. And sure, I got lucky in that point, but some people won't at all. And that's really that, Another thing with feelings is you cannot shame yourself for them at all. As men, we have to be tough. We have to, but there's no sense and shame in seeing a beautiful day, taking a walk, or playing, with, little girls or something, or maybe enjoyed that invisible tea as a kid. Whatever you are, you are. You're a good person, then you're fine. All right. Plenty of other videos. I go live every day on Instagram when I wake up. Hope you enjoy this, and all right. Have an amazing day. Keep climbing.